What does breakfast look like for a low-income person in Vietnam? What do they eat? What do they do in those quiet hours before the city fully wakes up? Hi, I'm Kong, a 34-year-old from a rice farming village now living in the city. Let me show you what my morning looks like from the moment the alarm goes off to the moment my mother rides away into the wind. The alarm goes off at 5:16 a.m. The fan hums in the corner. The air is still cool, not hot yet. Yesterday I moved from my hometown to the city. Last night I couldn't sleep right away. My mind kept running. It took a long time before I finally drifted off. So, this morning my body feels a little heavy, a little slow, but the day does not wait. I reach for my glasses. Without them, everything is just soft shapes and light. Once they are on, the room comes back the old walls. The small window, the folded blanket on the floor. I sleep on the floor to stay cool. The city heat is different from back home. Thicker. It sits on you. I fold the mat. I stack the pillow neatly on my mother's bed. Small things. But small things are how the morning begins. Before I do anything else, I check the jackfruit. I brought it from the village. It has been sitting in the corner for a few days now. I tap it gently with my hand. Thump, thump, a low, hollow sound, like a quiet drum. That means it is getting close. I press one finger into the skin, slightly soft, not ready yet, but almost. In Vietnam, a ripe jackfruit is not just a fruit. It is something you share with neighbors, with family, with anyone who happens to be around when you cut it open. My mother already has a plan for this one. I set it back down carefully and move on. Every morning, the first thing I do is open the window. Has the sun come up yet? Will today be sunny or cloudy? A small habit. But it connects me to the day before I am fully inside it. This morning, a cool breeze moves across my face. I breathe in slowly, fill my lungs. The clouds are gathering, heavy and gray. Probably no strong sun today. Down on the street, a woman is sweeping. She moves slowly, steadily. The bamboo broom makes a soft, rhythmic sound against the pavement. Dry leaves scraping across concrete. Swish, swish, swish. I know that sound. A few years ago, my father used to sweep our yard every afternoon. Same sound, same steady rhythm. He never rushed, just swept corner to corner until the ground was clean. I have not heard that sound in a long time. The sound that brings me back to the room is a soft click. My mother opens the wardrobe. She takes out her bag, the one she keeps her earnings in. She collects recyclables, things other people throw away. Paper, cardboard, plastic bottles, aluminum cans. She carries them, sorts them, sells them. She lays the money out on the table and counts it carefully. Around 60,000 Vietnamese dong, about $2.30. Enough to buy one bowl of pho at a restaurant. But she will not buy pho. She will buy 1 kilogram of chicken, or maybe 400 grams of pork. The chicken will last us 2 days. The pork 1 day with a generous portion. She smooths each bill flat with her fingers, slowly, carefully. For many people like me, money is not spent. It is managed. Every bill tells you what tomorrow looks like. The rice cooker on the counter is old. My mother brought it from the village. My father bought it years ago. She has repaired it twice already. The inner pot is worn. The non-stick coating has peeled away in places. I know it is not good for health, but we cannot afford a new one yet, and the stores here only sell complete rice cookers, not just the inner pot alone. So we use what we have. She opens the lid and scoops out the leftover rice from last night. We will heat it up for breakfast this morning. Nothing is wasted. Sometimes I look at that old rice cooker and I think about my father. He is the one who bought it. He is gone now. But his rice cooker is still here, still cooking, still feeding us. My mother never once talked about replacing it. Maybe she never will. And I think some things we keep not because they still work perfectly. We keep them because letting go is too heavy a thing to do on an ordinary morning. My mother measures out about 250 grams of rice. She rinses it with water. Once, twice. The water turns cloudy white, then slowly clears. She adds the right amount of water, not too much, not too little. No measuring cup, just her hand, her experience, 55 years of knowing exactly how much. She will bring this rice to work. The place where she works does not provide meals, and buying lunch from a street stall every day is not an option for us. A single meal outside costs around 35,000 to 40,000 Vietnamese dong, about $1.40 per meal. If she bought lunch every working day for a month, that would be close to $45. For us, $45 is not a lunch budget. It is rent money. It is medicine money. It is the difference between a stable month and a difficult one. So she cooks every morning before the sun is fully up. Do you cook rice at home, or is it something you only do on special occasions? I am curious how people eat breakfast in your country. Do you know what this plant is? In Vietnam, we call it sa lemongrass. But this lemongrass is special. My mother planted it herself. She cleared a small patch of land along the road outside about 20 square meters. The soil was hard, full of gravel and stones. Growing anything here takes real effort. She told me once we are farmers. We will always be farmers. She tends this small garden for 3 reasons. First, for her health. Physical work, fresh air. Something to care for every day. Second, for clean food. Vegetable prices at the market have been rising. Growing your own, even a little helps. Third, and I think this is the real reason to feel less far from home. When you leave the countryside for the city, you carry the village inside you. A small garden along a busy road is the closest thing to bringing it with you. Today, the lemongrass she grew will go into our breakfast. I will tell you more about that in a moment. Do not skip ahead. And the leaves, the parts you cannot eat, have their own uses. Their scent keeps mosquitoes away. Boiling lemongrass leaves for bathing water is an old remedy in Vietnam. Simple, natural, effective. Does lemongrass grow in your country? Do people cook with it where you are from? I think one day I will film us gardening right next to the traffic. That video will be something else. Stay tuned for that one. I checked the mousetrap near the kitchen corner. Nothing. But last night I could hear them running across the ceiling, back and forth, again and again. This apartment complex is old. Many cracks, many gaps in the walls. The rats found their way in long ago and decided to stay. In Vietnam, in old apartment blocks like this one, rats are just part of the deal. You set the trap. You wait. Sometimes you catch one. Sometimes you don't. Last night they won. The washing machine is older than 10 years. Last night when I loaded the clothes in, it made a loud grinding noise the whole cycle. When it reached the spin, it shook hard. The whole machine vibrated like it was trying to argue with me, but it finished the job, and so we will keep using it. In Vietnam, many families hold on to appliances long past the age most people would replace them. Not because they don't want something better, but because something that still works is something you do not throw away. This machine has freed us from washing by hand. That is not a small thing. I remember when I was young, back in the village, washing clothes was my job. I would fill a big basin with water, drop the clothes in, and use my feet to stomp them clean. Round and round, splashing everywhere. It took a long time. My legs would get tired, but those afternoons were good. The whole family was together. My father was still around. We had very little, but the house was full. Sometimes the difficult years are the ones you miss most. Do you remember washing clothes by hand when you were young? I would love to hear your story in the comments. My mother and I do not drink tap water. Instead, every morning we brew herbal water, a combination of la voi, a traditional Vietnamese leaf, and dried licorice root. I know it sounds simple, but there are real reasons we drink this. La voi helps with digestion. It stimulates the stomach, speeds up the process, and prevents bloating and constipation. I shared this before. I have had stomach problems since my factory days back in the village. Irregular meals, long shifts, eating whatever was fast and cheap. My stomach paid the price. It also helps reduce blood fat. And my mother has been dealing with high cholesterol for a while now. The licorice root cam tao in Vietnamese is one of the most common herbs in Eastern medicine here. Sweet and mild in flavor. It cools the body, supports the liver, and strengthens the immune system. My mother works outdoors every day. In summer, the heat is serious. This helps her get through it. The process is simple. Rinse the leaves and the dried root. Boil a kettle of water. Pour the hot water into a thermos flask already holding the herbs. Close the lid. Wait 30 minutes. That is it. No expensive supplements. No pharmacy trips for something we can grow or find at a small herbal stall nearby. For many people like me, traditional medicine is not a lifestyle trend. It is just how you take care of your family when the budget is tight. You learn what each plant does. You use what your parents used before you, and quietly it becomes part of your morning. Is it the same in your country? Do people still use herbal drinks at home, or has that been mostly replaced by packaged products? By a little past 6, the rice is ready. We sit down together, my mother and I, for breakfast. Gano sagung is one of the most comforting dishes in Vietnamese home cooking. Chicken simmered slowly with lemongrass and ginger until the broth turns golden and fragrant. The meat pulls apart gently. The ginger gives it warmth. The lemongrass grown by my mother just outside gives it a clean grassy sweetness that no store-bought seasoning can copy. To eat it like a local, you spoon the broth over a bowl of warm rice and let it soak in. You eat slowly. You do not rush. This is last night's chicken reheated this morning, and the rice, the cold leftover from yesterday, is warmed in the old rice cooker my father once bought. Nothing is made fresh just for breakfast. Everything is carried forward from the night before. It costs almost nothing, but it is a full meal. In Vietnam, rice is eaten at all 3 meals of the day. Breakfast is considered the lighter meal, but for families like ours, light does not mean small. It means efficient. It means enough to carry you until noon without spending anything extra. If we ate outside, the cheapest options would be around 15,000 to 50,000 Vietnamese dong per person, roughly 60 cents to $2. Full rice porridge, sticky rice banh mi. These are the popular morning choices on the streets of any Vietnamese city. But for us, that is not possible every day. $2 a day for breakfast sounds small. Multiply it by 30 days for 2 people. That is $120 a month just for breakfast. That number is more than my mother earns collecting recyclables in an entire month. So we cook at home, we eat together, we talk. This morning we talk about the garden. I tell my mother I want to plant a lemon tree. She asks where we would put it. I say maybe in another cleared patch near the lemongrass. She thinks about it for a moment, then nods slowly. Small plans, quiet mornings. For many people like me, breakfast is not just about food. It is the only part of the day when everything slows down before the world speeds up again. The meal is simple, the conversation is gentle, and for 20 minutes it feels like nothing outside can reach us. The rising cost of living in Vietnamese cities has quietly changed how working-class families eat. Many who moved from the countryside brought their cooking habits with them, because those habits are cheaper, healthier, and more familiar than anything a city stall can offer. Home cooking is not just a preference. For many of us, it is the only strategy that makes the numbers work. Is it the same in your country? Do people still cook at home on weekday mornings, or has that become a rare thing?
Mẹ của cái nồi nhẹ trên máy.
Ồ, làm nhanh. Rồi lúc nào Chạch sùng đúng không?
Thùng nó bắt mũi.
Rồi nhẹ nó vào đó. Nhưng mà đã xả rồi mẹ dùng cái thuốc này đuổi mũi phết.
Cho nó thơm. Thơm tự nhiên.
Ăn được không?
Ăn đủ rồi. Rửa quả xoài. Ăn không?
Xoài.
Xoài nó chín tới mình. Quá.
Này là thật xấu là người ta thấy người ta làm người ta chẻ nó ra ngoài hạt, chẻ ra mang hạt để nó ngấm muối.
Đấy số lon mà số bọc được.
Số nhà mình ngấm ra được. Số lon thì mình chẻ đôi ra cả nhau.
Breakfast is finished. The bowls are cleared. Now I pour the herbal water. The lavoy has been steeping for 30 minutes. I lift the lid of the thermos and ladle the liquid into my mother's carry flask, the one she takes to work every day. The color is a deep golden amber. It catches the morning light coming through the window, warm and clear and steady. The smell is gentle, slightly earthy, slightly sweet from the licorice root, familiar in the way that only things from childhood can be familiar. I wish you could smell it through the screen. My mother will drink from this flask all day, while she sweeps school corridors, while she rests in the shade between tasks, while she waits for the afternoon shift to end. It is a small thing pouring water into a bottle, but in my family, small things are how we say What we cannot always put into words. Does anyone in your country still drink herbal water made at home? Or has it mostly been replaced by bottled drinks and packaged tea?
Cái này
Nước ngon lắm mẹ. Ngọt ngọt thơm thơm. Ngon mẹ.
quá.
Đây, thì mẹ mang cái chai này đi làm mà nhé.
Merci.
Một với ít phế liệu đây à?
This morning, my mother is also bringing out the recyclables. Yesterday, the neighbors were clearing their home. Old cardboard boxes,
Mới bán luôn ha.
plastic bottles. They did not throw them away, they gave them to my mother. My mother knows every neighbor in this building. She brings them fruit when she has it. She stops to ask about their children. She remembers their names, their schedules, their small problems. In Vietnam, there is an old saying, Ban anh em xa mua láng giềng gần. It means a distant relative is worth less than a close neighbor. I grew up hearing this and watching my mother live it. The jackfruit sitting in the corner. The one I brought from the village. The one that is almost ripe. She has already decided. When it is ready, she will cut it open and share it with the people on this floor. For many people like me, community is not something you join. It is something you build quietly, one gesture at a time. A bag of fruit here, a kind word there, a cardboard box passed between hands instead of thrown into the street. That is what I love about my culture. Even in a crowded city, people still find ways to take care of each other. My mother works at a school about 2 kilometers from here. She cleans the outdoor areas, sweeps, tidies, does what needs to be done in the open air. It is physical work. It is slow work. It is work that most people walk past without noticing. I ask her if it is hard. She smiles. It is fine. I can manage. She has been saying that my whole life. About every difficult thing. She puts on her hat, checks her bag, picks up the thermos of herbal water I packed for her, and wheels her bicycle out into the hallway. Her bicycle is old, simple, no gears, no suspension, just 2 wheels and a basket. I watch her go, and I think, what am I doing? What am I doing to make her life easier? She picks up other people's discarded cardboard. She smiles and says, it is fine. My father is gone. She is getting older every year. This is my responsibility now. Not a burden. A responsibility. There is a difference for many people like me, children of farmers' first-generation city arrivals. This is the quiet weight we carry every morning. We did not move to the city for ourselves. We moved because someone at home is counting on us to figure it out. The sky has turned dark. The wind picks up suddenly. Strong gusts bend the trees along the road. The clouds from this morning have finally arrived. I watch my mother ride out into it. Her bicycle tilts in the wind. She steadies it, keeps pedaling. Her figure grows smaller down the road, leaning slightly, moving steadily, disappearing into the gray morning air. I stay at the yard longer than I need to. That image, my mother small against the wind, still moving forward, stays with me. And I ask myself a question I do not yet have an answer to. How do I become someone steady enough to be her shelter? Maybe that is what it means to grow up. Not the age, not the job title, not the salary. Just the moment you stop asking what you want and start asking what you owe. The day has begun. How about you? Is there someone in your life you are quietly working toward? Someone you get up early for even when your body wants to stay down? Let me know in the comments. I read everyone.